Indigenous people have been in the U.S. for tens of thousands of years, so why don't we learn more about them, and why is their history seen as a blip in the larger history of America, and why do we see Indigenous people as people who were instead of people who are? From savage and uncivilized to noble and uncorrupted, Indigenous people have had many labels put on them throughout history by the very people who colonized them. In reality, Indigenous people who have inhabited the U.S. for tens of thousands of years have a diverse history with hundreds of languages that were and still are being spoken and wildly different practices. Some peoples were nomadic, while some stayed in a small area their entire lives. Although various native tribes and people have a long history, U.S. history textbooks seem to stop in the late 19th century in regards to their history. For this video, I sat down with Dr. Bovey, an archaeologist and professor at the Department of Anthropology at the University of Rhode Island, and she gave me some insights to Native American culture and how much we get wrong about it. Do we have any evidence from archaeology that kind of alters our misconceptions about Indigenous people in America?
Well, I would say a lot of people in America just don't know anything.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So the fact that people are often surprised, oh, your eye is on Indigenous land. Well, Indigenous people were everywhere, right? So everything is basically on Indigenous land. Now, of course, not every place was a major village or whatever, but
yeah.
I think people tend to know more about Greece or Rome or Egypt, or even, Maya or whatever, Aztecs. So, yeah, I think it can give people a lot of insights. So, in a lot more complexity, we have a lot of sort of images from movies or old westerns, or whatever, of Indigenous people always being mobile on horses and everything. Horses didn't come here till the Spanish arrived.
Yeah.
So that was not a thing until later. They were much bigger cities, much more kind of complexity, we call it, in terms of social structure and all kinds of things than people tend to think. They tend to think about small populations moving around a lot. Yeah. Very mobile, following food. And that was true in some parts, at certain periods of time, but we also had big cities with huge mounds and things happening.
I also wanted to talk to someone who wasn't an expert just to get a good sense of what the average person in America knows about Indigenous people. I ended up interviewing my mom to see what she knows about Indigenous people. What do you know about Indigenous people?
I know that they live on reservations. Some of them.
Yeah. Anything else?
I guess no, not really.
Not really? Okay. Were you taught much about Indigenous people in school?
No.
No? Okay. Anything at all?
Well, there was this, not in school really, but in the 70s there was a commercial for it was a PSA for, I don't know, just cleaning the environment, and it was an Indigenous person looking around at trash.
Yeah.
And being sad. So that was one of my first introductions, I guess, to, and then all the old movies.
Yeah.
And stuff.
The westerns.
That my father used to watch was,
Yeah.
very, I don't know.
It's okay if you don't know, but can you name the tribes of Indigenous people of Minnesota where you grew up?
I think the
Chippewa?
Was one, maybe. Ojibwe.
Ojibwe, yeah.
Cherokee?
No. It's okay. Indigenous people were and still are a big part of the U.S. and its history. The fact that there is such a lack of education in regards to the native inhabitants of this country is astounding, especially in this day and age. As historian Ned Blackhawk once said, "Without Indigenous history, there is no U.S. history."